Welcome back to Real America. Well, big tech, social media, at it again all last night. Twitter censoring our president when he tweeted and claiming that the Democrats were trying to steal the election. This is what he tweeted. "We are up big. They are trying to steal the election. We will never let them do it. Votes cannot be cast after the polls are closed." That's what he said. Not don't count the votes anymore. Don't let votes come in after voting is closed. Now, this happened after an NBC reporter reached out to Twitter about the president's tweet, and Twitter said that his tweet was considered misleading about the election or the civic process, and it went against Twitter's civic integrity policy. Jack Dorsey, you don't have any integrity. Look at the nonsense, lies, anti-Semitism. There is so much crap you've allowed on your platform. You really think that that tweet goes against your civic integrity platform at Twitter? Give me a break. Somebody's got even a stronger opinion than me about Twitter and the rest of big tech and social media and how they try to stop conservative voices. Is a huge social media influencer with millions of followers, and he has been victim to the Twitter gods and Instagram and Facebook trying to suppress his voice. Our good buddy, Rogan O'Handley, or you know him as DC Draino. Hey, Reg, how you doing, Rogan?
Doing well, Dan. Thanks for having me on a very crucial day.
I got to take a breath before we start this interview. Okay, where do we begin? Let's talk about last night. Let's talk about polls. Everyone had this massive blue wave. Oh my gosh, you're going to see red states and purple states flip like Texas, Arizona, Florida, where you live. We're going to gain 15, 17, 25 seats in the House. We're going to take the Senate and win the presidency. None of that happened.
In fact, it was pretty much the opposite.
Yes.
President Trump, the election is still being decided for the presidency. It looks like there is a good amount of fraud going on, a lot of mysterious big chunks of ballots turning up last minute that are all in favor of Joe Biden. What a coincidence. They're in Democrat-run states as well. But for the most part, for the races that we do have a lot of confirmation on, GOP did much better in the House than the polls were saying. They were expecting a blue wave, these fraudster polls. And they also were expecting to take control of the Senate. And it looks like the GOP may only lose 1 seat total. So, I personally live in Florida. They were predicting Biden would win 5 to 7 points over Trump. And Trump's looking like he's going to win by 3.5, maybe up to 4 points. That's a 10-point swing. If Twitter wants to talk about civic integrity, how about censoring some of these pollsters who are lying to the American people?
Thank you, Rogan. I mean, we had a guest on earlier who just said that pollsters are now like the fax machine of 2020. You're out of date, you're not needed, get lost. I mean, we saw how they screwed it up in 2016, and nobody was saying the message you just said. We just said pollsters got it wrong, and we moved on, President Trump won. But now what you said is very, very key and poignant to the discussion, that polls can sway elections. They're doing a disservice. It's almost, I won't call it treasonous, we don't want to go that far, but they are doing a total disservice to our democracy when they put these idiotic polls out that showed Sleepy Joe 5, 7, 11, up to 16 points up in certain states, and then Trump won those states, I mean, handedly, like Florida. So, yeah, something has to be done about pollsters before the next election. Let's talk about the censoring, I'm sure, and I know I was watching you all night as well, in between when I had a break of the 7-8 hours of our coverage, that you were hammering out the Instagrams, the tweets, the Facebook. Anything get flagged or suppressed last night, like the president, for you?
Of course. I mean, just to see the president of the United States being censored to the point where you could not retweet, comment, or like his tweet about what his thoughts are on the current state of the race, saying it violated civic integrity. Again, you're censoring the president of the United States. That is violating civic integrity. That is denying people the information that they deserve to hear in a crucial moment where we are determining the leader of the free world. I personally have had a few tweets censored this morning. Surprise, surprise, they're going very viral. And it was talking about these, huge Biden vote surges without any Trump votes coming in. When you have over 100,000 plus Biden votes coming in the dead of night in Michigan and 0 for Trump, it raises some eyebrows. And if I'm not allowed to even discuss that, right? That had probably 4,000 retweets and then boom, censored. Couldn't retweet it, couldn't like it, couldn't comment on it. And they did that to 3 other tweets of mine. So we're in a very difficult position where our election is potentially being stolen from us, let's be real, and we are not even allowed to talk about it on social media. Free speech is under attack, our election system is under attack, and the presidency is at stake.
Yeah, and the future of our country is at stake because the presidency is at stake. I am so concerned. That's what had me up most of the night. We got out of here around, I don't know what it was, 1 o'clock Pacific time, so 4 in the morning. Got a few hours sleep, had to watch as much as I could. Woke back up this morning with a pit in my stomach going, what is going on? When the president, I went to bed, had such huge leads. And one of the biggest ones that bothered me, Rogan, was Michigan. He was ahead there wholeheartedly. All of a sudden, 138.8, it was almost 139,000 votes appear, and almost every single one of them went for Biden and also against that Senate candidate who I really like, the veteran there, John James. That, to me, if you can't look at that on its face and go, there's something fishy going on in Michigan, and if it happened there, it could be happening in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Arizona. We've got to look into this. We have to demand accuracy in our vote. Now, here's the big difference, though, Rogan. We don't act like the left does. If this does go the opposite way, and we've got a President Biden next January, we're not going to go crazy in the streets. That's not what we do.
No, we're gonna fight like hell to hold him accountable for everything we found on Hunter Biden's laptop. I can guarantee you that.
Yes.
But I will say, imagine if the shoe was on the other foot. Imagine if Democrats were up by 300,000 to 700,000 votes in the blue wall, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and then suddenly the next day, President Trump took leads in all 3 or 2 of the 3. There would be riots. Why? Because they have the common sense to know that something fishy is going on. We cannot have elections where Republicans vote on election day and then Democrat ballots keep showing up until they win in the week after. This happened in 2018 during the midterms. We're now seeing it in 2020. We cannot have mail-in ballots run rampant like this. We cannot have unsupervised ballot officials, poll watchers being rejected from getting into battleground state polling stations. There is a major problem with our election process. It's delegitimizing it, and it's potentially going to cause some real big problems.
Yeah, and I'm also worried about, but I think hopefully, obviously the lawyers on both sides will be looking into this. I've heard some stuff there in Wisconsin. Will the number of registered voters actually match up to the number of ballots they're counting? Because I've seen some reports saying the numbers don't match. That right there is in black and white. So again, there's a lot of possibilities. There's still a clear pathway for the president to be victorious. So we're going to hang on that, end on that, and we'll just keep watching for the next day or so until they finish calling these last few states. Pennsylvania, we're not going to know for like a week, but I don't think it'll matter. I think that if the president takes North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, and possibly Michigan, he's got Alaska, obviously it's over. Biden can have Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. So we'll leave it at that. We're going to cross fingers. Let's stay in touch online and be safe.
Thanks, Dan. You too. Get some sleep.
You too. Thanks, Rogan. Take care, brother. When we come back, it is time to get real. Don't go away.